Today we're looking at a development that could, well, truly shift the dynamics of military aviation and maybe even global power balances. India just finalized its first ever fifth-generation stealth fighter jet design, the AMCA. Now, with a prototype expected by 2027, this could redefine the future of Indian air power and perhaps tilt the global balance of military aviation. But what makes this jet so revolutionary? Let's find out. We've gone through a fantastic stack of sources detailing this incredible project, everything from its strategic significance right down to its cutting-edge technology. Our mission today is to really illuminate everything you need to know about the AMCA, trying not to get bogged down in jargon, but without skipping the important stuff.
Yeah, it's clear from the reading, this isn't just about India building another advanced aircraft. It really feels like a profound statement of intent, aimed at cementing a position in that very exclusive club of nations, while also showing a deep commitment to strategic self-reliance. It's quite ambitious.
Absolutely. And the sources, they keep calling the finalization of the AMCA's paper design a watershed moment for India. So when they say watershed moment, what are the real implications here for their defense capabilities and maybe their global standing? What does it actually take to join this elite club of fifth-gen fighter developers?
Well, that's a key question. Historically, it's just been a handful, right? The US, Russia, China, they're the ones who've managed to field true fifth-gen stealth fighters. And achieving that capability is incredibly complex. You're talking advanced aerodynamics, stealth materials, integrated avionics, powerful engines. It's the whole package. So India's AMCA, it's not just like an incremental upgrade. It represents a revolutionary leap. For years, India has been a major importer of military hardware. This project, it's a very tangible sign of them on our part that that's their push for self-reliance. They want to reduce that dependency, especially for these critical high-end systems.
But it gives them more autonomy.
Yeah, exactly. Greater autonomy in foreign policy, in defense strategy. They're less constrained by foreign suppliers, potential embargoes, or tech transfer limits. It's a powerful signal, really, to allies, to potential adversaries.
Okay.
It says, look at our growing tech prowess, our strategic independence.
That is a significant shift. So for you, our listener, it means you're watching a country actively reshaping its defense industrial base and, well, its geopolitical influence, too. And like you said, this isn't just theory. There's a clear roadmap, substantial backing. Can you maybe outline how the AMCA got from its initial vision to where it is now? What are the key milestones?
Sure. The AMCA project, it's definitely evolved. It started out as a concept for something lighter, around the 20-ton class, but it's since matured into a more robust 25-ton twin-engine design. The scaling up, it reflects what modern air warfare demands: more payload, more range, more flexibility. And the really critical recent milestone was back in March 2024. The Cabinet Committee on Security approved a pretty hefty budget, 15,000 crore. Yeah, about 1.8 billion US dollars, specifically for prototype development. That funding, that's the signal it's moved off the drawing board.
Okay, so the money's there. What about the timeline? Getting this thing actually flying sounds, well, ambitious.
It is ambitious, no doubt, but they have laid out a clear timeline. The plan targets a prototype rollout late 2026 or maybe early 2027. Then a first flight planned for 2028.
2028, that's not far off.
Not at all. After the flight trials, they're aiming for certification by 2032, and then induction into the Indian Air Force starting around 2034. And to make that happen, they're building 5 prototypes. The first 3 are for developmental flight trials, basic airworthiness, performance checks. Then the last 2, those will be focused on the really crucial stuff: integrating weapons, validating all the complex systems. It's a very structured approach.
A structured approach for a complex machine. And a huge part of that complexity is the stealth, right? That's what defines 5th-gen. Now, when we talk stealth for the AMCA, it's way more than just radar-absorbent paint, isn't it? What does stealth really mean here?
Oh, absolutely. It's far, far more than paint, although that's, part of it. True stealth, especially 5th-gen stealth, is a whole design philosophy. It starts with meticulously shaping the airframe itself. Think of facets on a diamond, but designed to deflect radar waves away from the source, minimizing that radar cross-section. Then, a huge factor is housing all the weapons internally. Dedicated bays mean no external pylons or missiles hanging off the wings to reflect radar signals.
Okay, so clean lines are key.
Very key. And just as important is managing the heat signature. Advanced engine exhausts are designed to mix hot exhaust with cooler air, or shield it somehow, making it much harder for infrared sensors to lock on. The AMCA project director, Krishna Rajendra, was pretty explicit. He said the aircraft will not be noticed on enemy radar. It's about being invisible across the spectrum radar, infrared, maybe even visually to some extent.
Right, a comprehensive invisibility cloak, basically. That's vital for its tactical use. And speaking of tactics, one of the really interesting features mentioned is this dual-mode operational flexibility. Can you break that down? What does that mean for missions?
Yeah, this is genuinely innovative. It gives commanders incredible adaptability. So in stealth mode, the absolute priority is low observability. All the primary weapons, up to about 1.5 tons, are carried inside that internal weapons bay. This keeps the radar cross-section minimal, perfect for penetrating deep into enemy airspace, where getting detected means failure.
Okay, stealth first.
Stealth first. But then sometimes you need sheer firepower, right? Maybe for air superiority or heavy ground attack where stealth isn't the only priority. That's where non-stealth mode comes in. The AMCA can then use external hardpoint sources, say up to 14 of them, to carry an additional 5 tons of weapons.
Wow, 14 hard points.
Yep, bringing the total potential weapons load up to around 7 tons. So it can go from sneaky infiltrator to heavy hitter.
It's almost like 2 jets in one. Silent assassin or flying arsenal, depending on the need. That flexibility does sound like a major advantage. Which brings us to another feature that sounds almost sci-fi. This AI-powered electronic pilot. An AI co-pilot, what does that actually do?
This is arguably one of the most groundbreaking aspects, especially for a single-seat fighter this complex. Traditionally, in complex missions, you might have a second crew member, a weapons systems officer, WSO, handling sensors, weapons, tactics. In the AMCA, this AI co-pilot takes on a lot of that cognitive load. It's designed to assist the human pilot in really high-pressure areas.
Like what specifically?
Things like complex decision-making support, real-time threat detection and analysis, dynamic route planning to avoid pop-up threats, even helping formulate combat strategies on the fly as the battle space changes.
So it's not just autopilot, it's augmenting the pilot's brain, almost.
That's a good way to put it. Augmenting cognition. The main goal is to drastically reduce the pilot's workload. Let them focus on the absolute critical tasks of flying and fighting. The AI can process huge amounts of sensor data, radar, infrared, electronic signals way faster than a human, so it massively boosts situational awareness.
I can see how that would help.
Imagine the AI instantly flagging the highest priority threat, suggesting the best missile, the best escape maneuver. It could really enhance mission success rates in complex scenarios. It's true human-machine teaming.
Fascinating. So for you, the listener, this hints at a future where AI isn't just a tool, it's a core partner in high-stakes decision-making. And underpinning all this tech, there's that emphasis on indigenous systems. Complete independence from foreign suppliers for critical parts. What kind of homegrown sensors and weapons are we talking about?
Yeah, that theme of self-reliance runs deep here. The sensor suite is pretty impressive and largely Indian. The core is an advanced AESA radar active electronically scanned array. It's based on a larger version of India's Udam radar, and critically uses gallium nitride, or GaN, technology.
GaN tech, okay. Why is that important?
GaN allows for radar modules that are more powerful, more efficient, and more compact. Better range, better resolution, and harder to jam. It's cutting-edge stuff. Beyond the radar, it integrates Indigenous IRS systems infrared search and track. That allows passive detection, tracking targets without emitting any radar signal, very stealthy. And all this data, radar, IRST, electronic warfare inputs gets fused together. Sensor fusion gives the pilot that seamless 360-degree picture of what's happening.
Okay, so it can see without being seen. What about its teeth? What weapons will it carry?
The Indigenous weapons list is quite robust. For air-to-air combat, you've got the Astra series of beyond visual range missiles, the BV Rams. There are MK1, MK2, and even a future MK3 planned, offering longer ranges. If taking out enemy air defenses, it'll carry the Rudram series anti-radiation missiles. They home in on enemy radar emitters.
Taking out the eyes and ears.
Precisely. And for hitting ground or sea targets, there's the powerful BrahMos NG supersonic cruise missile, plus Indigenous laser-guided bombs, precision munitions. Add in Indigenous electronic warfare systems for jamming and deception, and you see India aiming to control the entire kill chain, from detection to destruction, with its own tech.
Controlling the whole package makes sense strategically, but the engine, the heart of the beast, that's often the hardest part to develop indigenously. They have a two-phase approach here.
They do, and it seems quite pragmatic, likely learning from past challenges, like with the Kaveri engine for the Tejas fighter. Jet engine development is notoriously difficult. So the initial AMCA variant, the MK1, will use a proven engine, the US-made General Electric F414 GEI and S6.
The same family as the Super Hornet engine.
Exactly. It leverages an existing tech transfer deal. These provide about 90 kilonewtons of thrust. They're reliable. They come with advanced FADE systems, the digital engine controls. It gets the plane flying sooner.
Okay, so MK1 gets a proven U.S. engine. What about the MK2? That's where the indigenous part comes in.
That's the plan. The AMCA MK2 is slated to get a significantly more powerful indigenously developed engine, targeting around 110 kilonewtons of thrust. This is being developed by DRDO's Gas Turbine Research Establishment, or GTRE. And the sources suggest a likely collaboration, possibly with Safran from France, to bring that expertise in. It's a deliberate, phased approach. Use proven tech first, then make the leap to full indigenous capability for this absolutely critical system. It's about building the long-term capacity, not just one engine.
Makes sense. Finally, the sources describe the AMCA as a platform for future technological integration. It's built not just for today, but for decades ahead. What does that mean, practically, pushing beyond 5th Gen?
That's a crucial aspect of the design. They're building it with a modular open system architecture. Think of it like building with standardized connection points.
Like Legos for jets.
Sort of, yeah. It makes it much easier to plug in new technologies, better sensors, new weapons, improve computing as they become available without needing a total redesign. And yes, this foresight explicitly includes planning for potential 6th-generation capabilities down the road. They want this airframe to stay relevant for a long, long time.
So what might those 6th-gen capabilities actually look like on an AMCA someday?
Well, we're talking about technologies that are still mostly in development globally. Things like directed energy weapons lasers, maybe microwaves for defense or even offense. Also, loyal wingman drones, unmanned aircraft flying autonomously alongside the manned AMCA, acting as sensor platforms, weapons carriers, decoys, vastly expanding its reach and capabilities.
Okay, drone swarms controlled by the main jet.
Potentially, yes. And even more advanced network-centric warfare systems. Imagine seamless, high-bandwidth data sharing between jets, drones, ground stations, satellites, creating a truly integrated combat network. The AMCA is designed to be a key node in that future network.
So looking at the whole picture with India's AMCA, it feels like we're watching a nation doing more than just building a new fighter. They're really redefining their place in global defense tech. This mix of AI, the dual-mode flexibility, that clear path towards their own engine, it all points towards strategic self-reliance becoming a really powerful force in military innovation.
It absolutely does, and it makes you think, doesn't it? As more countries develop these kinds of sophisticated, homegrown defense capabilities, how will the old global power dynamics shift? What new kinds of international partnerships might we see, or new kinds of competition? It's certainly going to reshape military aviation and strategy in the coming decades. A lot to watch.
Indeed. Thank you, everyone, for your time and for joining this discussion on India's AMCA.
Yes, thank you, and we encourage you to like, share,